I think I am ready. We are in part 3. I am somewhat assuming, based on the end of the final one, that it is also in potentially a dungeon. Still, who knows on that front? I was trying to share. No, everything's normal. I did unlock the new eco. It is a burn plus sinking. Burn is now... Burn makes most sense with the hell screen, so... Story, plot, whatnot. So... Oh, and I did unlock the Donkey. Where's she at? There. Index proxy. And I do have the Otis ID, which I haven't tied yet, but it will be done if needed at the moment. I kind of think I just want to jump in since this update both took longer to drop than intended, I think. Or it took longer for it to become available than I would have liked. And, okay, we are not going directly into a dungeon level. This is maybe one instance, and it looks like maybe we're not getting a dungeon since it's 34 of 51. This is probably one of the instances where it makes sense not to. Because the only issue with dungeons is when you sort of finish the final boss, there's not much at the end of the dungeon to, like, resolve the conflict that just occurred. In real theory, I think if the pacing actually would have been worse for it, it could have been done in 1, or even in 2 to some respect, or maybe more so in 1. But you would have to lump, like, the part 1 and part 2 sections, and it would be, because it would need to be essentially wrapping up the conflict at headquarters to then go into a part 2, part 3. So this will potentially be paced better by not having the dungeon. It really just depends on how the story goes, and I don't want to sound wishy-washy because I have multiple times and mentioned it even here that I think Heath's story suffered not having it. The only reason I think Heath's story suffered not having it is they, I think, missed more opportunities. Because I went into that chapter hating Kathy. And I left that chapter still hating Kathy. And hating the Limbus version of Kathy just as much as the book version of Kathy. So, reminder for anyone watching this, and for anyone who decides to read this, Limbus is a mature rated game for a reason. It's not just blood and gore. Some of these stories are not nice. Hell, as much as I give Worthing I shit, there's some extremely dark moments in that book. So, a lot of my low screens are going to be thank you for it, or at least at the start. I don't see anyone in here. Okay, I already see the painter ring artworks, works of art of some variety. Anyone in here? All teams have entered the House of Spiders according to plan. All stations remain on alert for any movements. Is everyone okay? Not really. Doc said I'll be facing some challenges in my daily life for the next few months. And here I was, looking forward to this rare chance of witnessing the mystical, paid sick leave. I still find it baffling that you've denied yourself that opportunity. Onen's wearing like that bird. I don't remember the name of it. To be entirely honest, I am starting to think that you may have gone completely mad. What I'm doing may seem completely crazy, but I assure you my sanity is still intact. I would have gone truly insane if I weren't allowed to be part of this mission, though. What did they do with Mr. Martin? His remains have been retrieved. Since when did we become part of District 14? Or has Limbus Company suddenly found the scintilla of conscience to give him a proper funeral? Maybe they will, should the two of you return safely. Some time ago, prior to entering the back door. The assignments are final. Ensure that your line-ups are in order. I don't like this at all. You can't possibly believe that the current composition of the executive manager squad is equipped to ensure their safety. Oh, we're splitting up again? That seems like a bad idea. What? Not just for, like, Dante's sake, but also when Dante did his thing and called the sinner's consciousness to themselves, it also is kind of what got Martin killed. Can we be for real here? Because had the sinners at least been there a little longer to maybe stall it out, it kind of would have ended up better. There won't be any issues, not with Dante's newly awakened power. Yeah, don't you worry, Dante's been training that remote sight ability really hard while the bigwigs were busy holding meetings and dealing with the fallout. With that and the teleport power to zap us in and out, we'll be a-okay. Teleportation. Indeed. The way Faust replied seemed to indicate that it was anything but teleportation, but the tone in her voice declared it in no uncertain terms that she could not be bothered to elaborate. So either she knows, and or the Faust network knows to some extent, or they don't quite know, because can they really understand the random shit that Dante awakens? Are these things that Dante had before? But he didn't have the sinners before, so it also doesn't make sense. Strange feeling to be imparted such farewells for the mission. I hope we'll be able to meet one another again, safe and sound, once this is over. Listen, Hong Lu Bud, you don't say that kind of stuff before going into battle, alright? It usually ends up causing the opposite of the intended effect. How about what could possibly go wrong? Gregor, that has almost an even worse level of chase to it. That's more like it. What? Is that supposed to be any better? Thank you, Ishii. Well, it's time. I'll go on ahead. Hey, Sinclair. Yeah? About everything that happened, you just gotta accept what's done is done. Sinclair paused for a moment and then gave a quiet smile. Okay, I will. Sinclair was with the Martin Hohenheim group, so it probably makes sense that he's more jittery. This is my group? Why these three? Okay, fine. Okay, I'm glad I went through and leveled up people. We have no gluttony. Blind Obsession would be out, Everlasting is good, and Impending is available. Fuck it, we ball.
받았습니다.
If I'm gonna level, it's gonna be probably Shui Sinclair, since that one's my crutch. And I might just add one more thing. You needn't try to comfort us over our conversation, Manager Sod. Consider this nothing more than harmless humorous banter among us researchers. It appears to me that if anyone needs comfort, it'd be him. All those golden balls we've gone through so much to collect. Gone. We lost people too. Even worse, we're separated from our manager. If we can't even immediately know how the others are doing, this isn't the first time we've been in this much danger, but every time it happens, I can't help but get nervous, right? Anxious even. Yeah. Do you guys ever get this nervous too? Like I do. Well, I'd like to talk big and try to project confidence, but honestly, I still get anxious like everyone else. Sinclair, you literally watched Ishii have like a crash out of crash outs before her own Canto. She was going nuts during the entire thing. And even then, she's mellowed out some. But she is still a little bit more of the anxious worry ward. We still got a lot of people in the LCB who don't know where they're going in life, don't we? Like how I used to be. You know, with how Dante seems to feel a lot of pressure over their responsibilities, I guess you could say that I sort of committed myself to sharing a bit of their load and helping the team navigate through the trials of our journey and, you know, all that stuff. I'm just trying to put on a brave face, and at the end of the day, someone needs to, right? To reassure everyone that it's all going to be okay. Yes, Sinclair. You had your chapter. Where's your conviction? I need you to, like, progress. Where was the backbone that helped take out Cromer? I see. It'll just give me a real harsh dressing down if she heard me saying all that. Just thinking about it hurts my ears. Well, there is no doubt that Faust does indeed know it all. There were times when I was also found myself grasping at straws, unable to make even the simplest decisions, whether I should move forward, whether I should stop, whether I should go back the way I came. And that made me realize anew. Faust is but a name that may leave at any time. Is this also trying to say that in part of Faust's hive mind that she's not necessarily... She's definitely not like the true Faust, so maybe it's all she's ever known, but having been disconnected from the network once could happen again, kind of deal. So it is my turn in this heart-to-heart roundtable. While I'm not quite fond of these last-minute bearings of one's soul, as though we're walking to our collective deaths, but if this should help raise the chance of our success by alleviating some of your concerns, then I see no reason not to participate. My superiors have repeatedly refused to authorize a plan that includes me as the combatant for this mission. I understand their logic. Sending a research specialized employee to a near certain death would indeed be an inefficient management of human resources from the corporate perspective. Instead of accepting my request, I suggested that I take some time off, 3 months give or take. They said everything will have returned to normal by the time I sauntered back into the office. That the LCA's job was to find normalcy again, while LCA or LCB dealt with the consequences. It was tempting. It was a tempting offer, I must admit. Research was indeed an endeavor in which I could lose myself while the rest of the world slipped by. I would take the 3-month vacation, return to the lab, bury myself in research after research, and eventually I'd really have been nothing. It It'd really have been like nothing had happened. New employees would be hired to fill the vacancies with remarkable immediacy as though there had never been any loss of personnel in the first place. So yesterday, as I was arranging the office for my absence, I opened one of my desk drawers and oh, you really were gonna go on a vacation. And I saw our next year's research proposal peeking out from the middle of the paper pile. It's a funny thing the way that corporate planning works. No one knew what the future holds, but they expected us to plan months ahead in our proposals. When I'd written that research proposal, I'd planned it to be a collaborative research between me, Martin, and Alyssa. And now I'll have to erase Martin's name one by one from dozens of its pages. So, how did you manage to convince the higher-ups? My third request to have me included in this mission was accompanied by a resignation letter, a binary option, if you will. They had to choose one over the other. Oh, you can do that? Who's to say that I can't? That last subject wasn't much about anxiety at all, but has that helped calm your nerves, at least, Sinclair? A bit better, I think. I mean, Hohenheim at least has conviction. Granted, he was about to go on vacation, but I'll give him some credit that he's here. That's good. Now let's all take deep breaths and commence operation. Enemy incoming. Sorry I'm late. Fascia was enjoying a nice nap, so I had to wake her up first. She was heartbroken about how far behind schedule we were in her completion. It's because of Xenon's tortoise spiral. People struck with that weapon often end up with quite literally broken hearts, depriving us of the core ingredient. So I'm glad we're able to meet here, and none of you have replaced yourselves with a prosthetic body, so I won't be using the spiral. You knew we'd be coming. The maestro asked me to go out and receive our guests. You do know of the maestro's shattered child. She would have been a wonderful big sister for Fascia. And yet, to reach that level of creation, unfortunately, you see, collecting ingredients without damaging them is still a bit tough for me. So I hope to get some practice and start by cutting off my own arm. After all, whose body do we know better than our very own? But the corpse of the others is still so challenging to work with. Which fingers do they put the most pressure on when using their arms? Do they let their wrists handle much of the pressure, or their entire arm? Do they have any pre-existing defects that may change how I iterate with the medium? So many things to take into account before getting to know the actual work. Speaking of which, would you be so kind as to hear my request? How about we spend some time getting to know each other and become friends? Friends? It's not so hard to become friends. Sora told me that becoming friends is as simple as sharing the things we love, our hobbies, our dreams. Though I didn't become friends with her, as I wasn't planning on using Sora as an ingredient for Fascia. So, I know where to begin. Wouldn't you share something you love with me, everyone? Don't hesitate to ask me anything you'd like to know about me either. Ever since I fed a few slices of my brain to Fascia, I'm a very, very bad liar. What makes you think we're going to tell you any of that? Okay, then me first. My name's Albina. I'm learning corpseism art under the Maestro Callisto's tutelage with my beloved Fascia. The Fascia's her sword, right? Okay, she was not listed in the shit. Oh, wait, we do have friends, though. So you're dominating on that. You are... Okay, one is the purple, the other is the second green. So, keep that in mind. though. Actually, I think I should do that. Dominating, favor, dominating. I wonder if I should have someone else take that instead. Honam's a little bit more tanky than Ishii is, so I'll let it go.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
충정. 지령이 있는 대로.
화력, 추진, 차, 타.
That already staggered, so if I thought it through a bit more, I could have leaned into whatever. Like I could have maybe done more burn. And I don't know what Hohenheim's doing necessarily.
지령대로 움직일 뿐입니다.
What is your thing? You are also inflicting burn. Yeah, so I could have leaned more into the burn. Okay, Hohenheim's neutral, so I'll let him take care of it.
오작 터뜨려주지.
Oh, you were like a hair away from a stagger. Okay.
검이 아까보다 맹렬하게.
I'm sorry.
전에 최대한 제압하세요.
During this turn, the unit that has skill equipped gain the following effects. When hit by skill attacks before using a skill, gain 1 impact rattled armor. Impact rattle armor. When using Replaced Flesh, lose 10 final power for every stack. At 3 stacks after using Replaced Flesh, lose this effect, becomes staggered until next turn. Okay, so hit her doesn't necessarily knock her out of it, but does make her less able to, like, it lowers the damage.
대화를 하는 것이 지령에 어긋나지는 않죠.
Okay, so blue is the skill 2.
지령에 따라 참격.
Said for each hit.
이 빌어먹을 것들 전부 다 올려라!
Yeah, 1 damage, 2 damage, 3. And supposedly, I thought it said stagger next turn. Multiply the damage from the Iron Maiden spike, pass it by 20. Cannot be disabled by offsetting the skill. When hit by attacks, inflict 1 bleed count against the attacker. Iron Maiden spikes passive. It was used as staggered when hit by the last coin of an attack. Activate the following: deal pierce damage by 20% of the said coin's damage. Inflict 2 bleed. Damage from this effect cannot stagger the target. Okay, so I can't be staggered based on this, but essentially it'd be giving bleed stacks to everyone else. I could just sort of avoid hitting you.
따르겠습니다.
If I'm and Alyssa go for hits, that's fine. I can't control what they're doing, but I can essentially avoid it for the rest of them.
발사.
굳이 직접 목격하지 않아도 느낄 수 있겠죠.
Hell threshold? Weighted armor coming off? Having this shit again?
아, 어서.
Oh, Callistos!
신선한 재료들을 먼저 다듬고.
Ah, welcome, welcome. I've been so absorbed with trimming my ingredients that I was delayed. I help Malpini. That has been most wonderful host to you all in my absence. You... Yes, Maestro. They've denied my offer of friendship, but I've been trying nonetheless.
그렇군요.
I see.
다시 만나뵙게
Oh,
되어
it's such a
좋네요.
pleasure to meet you all again. This gallery hardly ever sees visitors, so I was at once its only audience and maestro.
그래서
So
아쉽게도
tragically, this humble gallery is yet to taste
객관적인 평을 들어본 적이
the
없어요.
piquancy of unbiased critique.
그러니 여러분들이
Perhaps you could be my first. Ugh.
아,
Ah, I see that this piece here has captured your interest. They were all people who have left me with such striking inspirations. Loneliness, anxiety, weakness. Observe these raw facets of suffering, the inevitable state of existence that is most fittingly human. Please direct your attention to this foremost figure. You'll be impressed to hear those hands refuse to let go of the partners, even as I place them atop this pedestal. The unbreakable bond that remains unsevered even as death comes to bear the subject away in its gentle embrace. I find such values utterly notable. It would indeed have been a waste to let that precious little moment slip away, so I endeavored to preserve every second of it, down to the smallest capillaries, muscle tissues, and the quivering throughout. Melissa? Miss Alyssa? Perspective has a way of transforming art as the state of one's heart alters the equivocative qualities of a piece, so please do take your time as you tour through my gallery. Tell me how it all appears in your eyes. My eyes? I'd rather gouge out my own eyeballs, you murdering fuck.
상대는 마에스트로. 어차피 피할 수 없는 전투라면
Okay.
최선을 다해주세요.
Where are you aiming? I'm surprised you're not going straight for him. But it almost seems like Hohenheim and Alyssa have him unlock, or her unlock. Seems like a better spread. Prioritize the Ring's Apprentice. Clash loss gain 4 damage down. This coin does not deal HP damage on hit, inflict 3 bleed counter. The target as an ally, apply 3 offensive level up. Yeah, we're gonna not let him power her as much as possible. Shit.
가lum하게 이 훌륭한 탄력. 더 보여줘. 너의 내면을.
화력 추진. 관객의 적극적인 참여 나쁘지 않군요.
전방위 공격이 감지되었습니다.
No,
피할 수
great.
있는 범위가 아니에요. 최대한 힘으로
During
밀어내야
this turn,
합니다.
the unit is equipped with 1 character. Good lord, stop scrolling. I know it's a long one. It is equipped with 1 power coin plus drop down. When hit by attacks once per skill, max 3 times per turn. Cannot be staggered for the skill on gain. Okay, reduce the power of the plus coins by this effect's counts. So, okay, hit at least 3 times. Okay. And what are you aiming at? Oh, you're aiming at the boss. I think I'm gonna just... I think it only said 3 times per turn, so I might take doing that to make sure Hohenheim also can't get knocked out of his own.
안 되는 순간 사절이야.
I was about to say, I could have sworn I had you focusing on him and...
영감이 떠오르는 대로 모두 가져갈게.
Okay. As long as that was enough.
호이나임 씨가 잘해주셨네요. 타겟은 곧 무력화될 거예요.
Still not great.
절묘한 관절 균형. 아까보다 맹렬하게. 휘두르기 전에 최대한 제압하세요.
Oh great, you're doing some bullshit now. She automatically has 3 attacks going for her. Unclashable. Prioritize enemy with the highest level. The skill does not trigger defense.
오작 터뜨려지지.
관객의 적극적인 참여 나쁘지 않군요.
We're gonna die.
사절이랍니다.
비투급 비상 상태 확인. 절차대로 부상자에게
하여.
K사 앰플을
추진.
투여하죠.
I'm a little confused. Sod was talking?
당신에게 남은
I don't have her equipped as an announcer.
앞을 밝히세. 구해야 할 곳이 잘 보이도록.
호이나임 씨가 잘해주셨네요.
파시아의
곧
부동을
무력화될 거예요.
약동하는 이 생명의 소리를
굳이
미안해,
직접
파시아.
목격하지 않아도 전방의
하지만
공격이
요새
감지되었습니다. 피할 수 있는 범위가 아니에요. 최대한 힘으로 밀어내야 합니다.
Maybe you should get healed. Oh, they have K-Corp amples. That's okay. That makes more sense. Wait, what are you doing? You're targeting Sinclair? I'm a little uncertain as to how that's gonna work.
지령에 따라
눈으로만 감상하지.
깨 부숴주마! 이 빌어먹을 것들 전부 다 올려라!
That's staggered? No, wait, I don't think she can be staggered out of that. Oh, there's a stagger bar.
지령이 이끄는 대로
앞을 밝히세. 구해야 할 곳이 잘 보이도록.
호이나임 씨가
정맥
잘해주셨네요.
당신이
곧
흘린
무력화될
서로
Okay, that activated another ample.
선량한 관절 균형. 혈색의
That does remind me. She was saying like, hey, make sure you have your amples ready, because those are gonna be like invaluable. Okay, fix target is Sinclair. Right? Am I crazy? Okay. Third. There.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
관객의 적극적인 참여, 반달리즘은 사적이답니다.
대박의 목숨.
한눈 팔지 마.
I may have talked shit about the Arknight's
파도는 반드시 밀려올
story
테니.
collab. I did still grind the hell out of getting some of the egos. I think the only one I missed was Gregor's. Which was the only one I was kind of okay with missing. Gregor without a beard looked so weird to me.
함께 파헤쳐볼까요? 당신에게 남은 아름다움.
Okay.
전방위 공격이 감지되었습니다.
Solo target.
피할 수 있는 범위가 아니에요. 최대한 힘으로 밀어내야 합니다.
지령에 따라 잠시 아직 5번 더 갈라야만 합니다. 지령의 뜻이니
I'm not quite sure why that was done.
들리시나요? 한 쌍의 상황들과 24개의 늑골이 자라는 TBI의 멜로디.
연구자는 이따위 위조품에 관심 없네.
Was that an issue with the prescript that I wasn't paying attention to? Because I hadn't really used this ID before? Fuck.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
Still don't know if that would have saved Ishi.
함께 파헤쳐볼까요? 당신에게 남은 아름다움.
Oh, Hohenheim's down.
지령에 따라 참격.
관객의 적극적인 참여, 나쁘지 않군요.
당신에겐 제가 어떻게 보일까요? 시간의 태엽 안에 그 답이 있을까요?
이 빌어먹을 것들 전부 다 올려라!
지령에 따라 참격. 충족. 지령이 이끌는
관객의 적극적인 참여, 나쁘지 않군요.
You're so close to a stagger. I don't think you'll get knocked out of things, but
화력, 추진,
slash, we could still end up failing.
것도 사는 것도 지령의 뜻. 두렵지 않습니다.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
해장 시간이 되었군요. 그럼 안녕.
알리사 씨, 지금 무슨 짓을?
저는 이것보다 더 좋은 방안이 떠오르질 않아요.
저 끔찍한 것들을 태울 수 있다면 기꺼이 일렁이는 불길 속으로! 알리사 씨,
Okay, that seemed also story, maybe? Alyssa, now it's not. Okay, one. I was not confident in that happening, but I also didn't think we were gonna kill any of these people on, like, the second fight.
한치의 고민도 필요가 없을